with power. Powered by School of Eloquence, the home of public speaking.
Hello and welcome to Speak with Power, your magazine television program with a specialist focus on the art of public speaking. Speak with Power is brought to you by the School of Eloquence, the home of public speaking. My name is Ubong Esien, certified speaking professional and the Dean of the School of Eloquence. Remember that without public speaking, you limit your chances of rising in life in whatever field of human endeavor that you have found yourself in. So taking this skill very seriously could make a world of a difference in your life. So what's lined up on today's episode? As usual, we'll begin with our drama skit titled The Staff Meeting. From the drama skit, we'll continue my interview with Professor Pat Utomi, the second installment of that interview on the all too important subject matter of public speaking. And of course, that interview is with a man who spent most of his public life giving speeches. Then we'll go into the masterclass where I take out time to teach about what is perhaps the most challenging element of the public speaking exercise, the fear of public speaking. Most times, once public speaking is mentioned to the ears of most people, it essentially triggers a sense of nervousness and anxiety. We'll discuss the fears of public speaking. And then, finally, we'll take you into a very important experiment being carried out by the School of Eloquence. It's called the Catching Them Young Initiative, where we go to secondary schools all across Lagos trying to teach young people, those especially in the senior secondary school category, about the importance of public speaking to encourage them to embrace this skill at a much earlier age in life. So, if you're ready, get your notepad and a pen. It's time to speak with power.
Are you in governance?
You need public speaking.
Are you in business?
You need public speaking.
Are you a professional?
You need public speaking.
Now you too can learn how to overcome nervousness and speak with confidence before any audience at the School of Eloquence, the home of public speaking.
Attend our practical and training one-on-one coaching with West Africa's only certified speaking professional at any of our centers in Lagos and Abuja.
To register, call 0802 3032 066 or 0706 1606 078 or log on to our website schoolofeloquence.org. School of Eloquence,
teaching the world to speak.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see from my presentation today, you agree with me that launching this new line of product will actually give us a 25% rise in our sales and needed exposure that we have for our company. Yes. We have employed, with the strategy, as I was saying, with the strategy that I have actually
Mr. Davis.
I haven't finished.
You have, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Davis. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Davis. Thank you very much. As you can see, what is it?
Excuse me.
No. Thank you. You can go now. The time is up. You can go now. Thank you very much for listening to him, as we've heard from Mr. Emmanuel and Mr. Davis. Thank you very much. The board will get back to you shortly. And we'll be having our lunch by 2 p.m.
When I was hoping that this presentation will land me in new position as head of procurement unit in this company that we have worked together for. What have I done to myself? For this presentation now, I just know I've lost it to my rival, Mr. Emmanuel. Years of hard work gone. What have I done to myself? I don't even know what to do. I don't even know how to start.
So, why do people fear public speaking? Nervousness, stage fright, anxiety, tension. These are all terminologies that we use to describe a situation that is also referred to as glossophobia in public speaking, which is the fear. How am I going to cope? Your stomach begins to turn. Your stomach begins to move. It's not as if you've just eaten, you're not having running stomach, but something just begins to happen. And before you know it, you lose energy in your body. And before you know it, your body just drops, physically droops. Before you know it, your knees can begin to shake. Your knees can begin to shake. And your mouth, even that we can manage. You can say it's the weather, external conditions. But this one is internal operations. This is internal operation. And before you know it, your heart begins to beat twice as fast. And once the heart begins to work twice as fast, what happens? Sweat comes into the picture. So these are all symptoms, pre-presentation symptoms. Now, there is the presentation symptoms itself. During the presentation itself, other symptoms now become manifest, such as what is just alluded to Benjamin: total memory lapse, blank out. You get up, you are in front, you want to try to speak, but you are looking in front there. Your mind is the one sitting there on its own, separate from you. Yeah, someone said, I got up to speak, but my mind sat back down. I'm not going with you. Go. Some people will just begin to choke. The word doesn't come out again. It's as if something is holding them. They become tongue-tied. All of these things are symptoms. Symptoms. The way to appreciate this is to know all of those symptoms. What is the underlying cause? What is the root? Because it's easy to quickly give a band-aid solution and just tug at the symptom without necessarily addressing the issue. Why then do people fear public speaking? Essentially, the fear of failure. But it is the fear of failure with a twist. If you notice, whenever you want to do something, whenever you harbor the fear of failure, let's say you want to make an investment in a particular business, but you're afraid it might not work out. You could eventually go on to invest in that business anyway. And if it fails, you can contain the failure. It's just going to be between yourself and the person who brought the idea to you, maybe your spouse or one or two persons. But the fear of failure in public speaking is so serious that it cannot be contained. Because it is not just the fear of failure, it is the fear of failure in public. But it can only limit you. You can't go further. So the major concern is people don't want to be embarrassed in the open. So it pushes them to do a lot of crazy and extreme things, like not wanting to engage with it at all. It's better I don't even try it, since I'm not going to get it perfectly. So that's the major consideration. Of course, there are issues that relate to exposure. People are afraid that they'll be judged as they are speaking, that the audience is judging them, evaluating them, drawing conclusions, which is not always true. But it's just us in our minds, putting ourselves through that pressure. Some people feel inferior before others. And some people just have this preconceived notion, of course, that others are judging them. Some people just say that they are just afraid of facing a crowd. And when you look at it, the crowd is only in their mind, because this is just a room of 5, 10, or 15 persons. So that's the major cause. And then, of course, outright lack of knowledge. This is very important, a consideration. What you don't know can and may kill you. And there's a common saying that knowledge is power. So for a lot of people also, it's outright lack of knowledge. Whatever is alien to you is bound to breed anxiety. But whatever you become familiar with makes you at ease. And once you're at ease, you feel comfortable, you're likely to begin to build confidence.
Do you feel terrified when speaking before a group? Are you stressed when asked to present? Do you forget your points? Are you shy and need confidence? Do you bore people when speaking? Are you stuck with reading word for word? How do you give a speech with polish? Learn how at the School of Eloquence,
The home of public speaking for private coaching, or attend our 2-day practical training in public speaking at 47B Oduduwa Crescent, GRA Ikeja, Lagos. Classes hold Thursdays and Fridays every week. To register or for one-on-one coaching, call 0802 303 2066, 0706 160 6078, or log on to www.schoolofeloquence.org.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
Well, you've been able to cast your mind back, and you're probably one of the very few fortunate individuals who may not have grappled significantly with the issue of fear or stage fright, or having to deliberately solve the problem of anxiety before audiences. So let's talk about public speaking in terms of considered impact. So I'm going to ask you, when you look at the height you have attained, do you think that your ability to speak in public has played a significant role, that skill, in helping you build a brand?
Without communication skills, I don't think you can make impact. Impact is an expression of the change you want to see in the world that people catch, and it then influences them. Central to all of that is communication skill. Now, what I know is that I recognize that it was important to communicate as clearly as I can manage. I recognize that it was important to seek feedback very early from my study, readings, everything. I recognize that emotional intelligence far more valuable than IQ, and that if you can connect emotionally to people, you can affect how they see the world and the things they do.
So let's talk about Nigeria, the context of leadership. Do you think that we've had enough of good communicators amongst this current crop of political players?
Well, I clearly think that there is a problem. The reason our democracy has not gone well is fundamentally because the most important thing about democracy, as the German philosopher Jürgen Habermas will say, is rational public conversation. That's the very sense of democracy. Because many of the kind of people who have entered the public space in Nigeria have not had discipline to develop themselves on the issues that matter to the Nigerian people. They have tried to make communication an unsavory affair. In fact, in many ways, they have made the Nigerian people come to believe that to think is an offense, is a problem actually. And so they say things like, my grandma will go chop. Theory. Okay, let's accept. Let's say, okay, theory, there's something wrong with theory. They have been functioning without theory, and they've brought a country to a sorry pass. The country is failing. That is clear. Anybody who does not see it is smoking something, you know. So obviously, surely their way is not correct. So maybe the one who said does not work, grammar, theory, and all of that, maybe they should give it a try, since at least the non-grammar, non-theory has failed dramatically. So the fact of that fear of public conversation has now led us to an even more sorry pass, where any expression of a point of view is not even looked at as to what idea is this contributing to a conversation we need to have in our country. Is found a threat. The first thing they do is they go into social media, get their avatars and co, to generate as much fake news about you as possible, insult you. If you then are not disciplined enough to ignore them, you begin to exchange, and that becomes a distraction from the truth of the problem that we need to deal with as a country. So yes, we certainly are dealing with a political class that cannot communicate, that considers insults and abuse as communication. And it's very sad because it's prevented Nigeria. Many of the things that Nigeria back are very simple things that could have been discussed, and many Nigerians were capable enough to put those things on the table and explain them properly. Simple things.
Name 3 of your most influential speakers, public speakers. I mean, from whichever generation till now.
I love Martin Luther King Jr.
And why?
He had a powerful way of connecting people to a dream.
That's one.
Strangely enough, Barack Obama,
Okay.
the remarkable
And why?
speaker, because Barack Obama was a good midfielder.
Okay.
Barack Obama managed to everybody to feel comfortable with him. The extremes, the right, the left, the white, the black. So in being able to use the tool of communication to hold society together in a very fractured culture, I think he was, for me, a great speaker.
Oh.
On the conservative end, I thought Winston Churchill was a really great speaker, but I think Margaret Thatcher was great.
So, locally, do you have favorite speakers?
Nigeria's first Prime Minister, Tafawa Balewa, was an eloquent
speaker.
You know, he was an eloquent speaker. Interestingly, some of the great intellectual minds of Nigeria were not great speakers.
Well, Prof, I know that if it were possible, we would continue going on, and there's so much more we could learn from you. Once again, it's always, for me, a treasure, more than just a pleasure, to sit with you and to speak and also to learn. So thanks for coming. Really appreciate your coming, Prof. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For us here at the School of Eloquence, our primary focus is on the art of public speaking, because it's a major, major problem. And public speaking, we must understand, is the raw art of speaker to audience oral communication.
I got a lot more than I actually expected. I have overcome the few years I used to have.
The more you speak, the better you are at speaking.
School of Eloquence is the place you can be, and there's a turnaround. That change you are expecting, you get it there.
We are from the School of Eloquence. School of Eloquence is an institution that teaches people how to speak well in public and make effective presentation. The school has taken it upon itself to teach young people like you how to speak well in public. So our major focus today is to equip you with the knowledge and the skill in the area of public speaking. Because public speaking is a skill that has to be learned.
Never ever be afraid. That's the beginning to confidence. Whatever you know, say it well with assurance. Smart people ask questions. The proof that you're smart lies in the fact that you're not afraid to ask questions. So we're not just saying raise your hand in class to answer questions. You also should have the confidence to raise your hand in class to what? Ask questions. That is the beginning of public speaking for you at this early stage.
facial expression, the voice, the body language, what they call verbal and non-verbal. And so your body language, how you carry yourself, your posture, you should make eye contact. The eye contact should not be on a particular person. Your eye contact should move from this point to that point to that point. That way, everybody gets engaged and participates.
The first structure in public speaking is what? And what do you do in introduction? You try everything you can to capture the attention of your listener. In public speaking, the number two thing you do is the body. All the things you want to teach should be in the body. The first thing is what? The second thing is what? The third thing is what? What am I doing? I'm actually in the competition level, so I'm letting you remember what I'm actually teaching you.
In order for you to be confident and speak eloquently, you need to prepare. We need to prepare. You need to acclimatize yourself. What do I mean by that word, acclimatize? Acclimatize simply means that you get yourself familiar. It is right that your face, your facial expression, collaborates the story you're telling. In speaking, your facial expression should buttress what message you are passing across. It should not betray your message. You cannot be talking about something very exciting. Wow, I won the jackpot of 10 million, and your face is sweet. I won the jackpot. You disconnect with your audience immediately because your facial expression is not in sync with what you are saying.
So to do well in public speaking, you must see it as a relationship between yourself and your audience.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
I hope you've enjoyed today's episode of the program Speak with Power. and that you've learned a couple of things that can indeed make a world of a difference in your life, in your business, in your career, and that the lessons gleaned will go a long way to make you even more confident. So, let's continue this conversation across all of our social media platforms as displayed on the screen, so that the learning can keep going on and that we can make our lives truly a standout experience as far as public speaking is concerned. I leave you with this inscription found in a 3,000-year-old Egyptian tomb, which says, "Make thyself a craftsman in speech, for then thou shalt have the advantage." Till I see you next time, the stage remains yours. Speak with power.
Speak with Power